Hello, this is Linda Vettrus-Nichols, and do I have an amazing woman to introduce you to, Dr. Bindu Babu. Welcome, Dr. Bindu.
Hi, Linda. Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is amazing.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I just love doing this anyways. We talked about earlier. Okay, so love is powerful. Well, yeah, I can bowl you right over, right? It can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it can expand your heart. It can almost explode your heart. It reminds me of the Grinch, right? At the end of the movie, and his heart grew X amount of times that day.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Right.
I know. And my really good friend ended up she was in a car accident, and then her heart just got so expanded, and it's
wow.
Okay, I just assume not have a car accident to have that happen, but we do know that the heart just really opens and expands, especially in the energy of what's going on in the world right now. Even though everybody's like, oh, this is horrible. It's like, your heart's expanding, isn't it? if it isn't, you're in big trouble, right?
Yeah, you can learn your life lesson, right?
Mm-hmm. So love is powerful. What does that mean for you?
Well, we all know that the emotional love, it's not something is tangible, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we feel towards someone and towards ourselves, or even things, right? Books, anything. It's an emotion that is very brings happiness.
Mm-hmm.
It brings us happiness. It brings us peace. It's your grounding emotion,
Right.
And the most important thing about being grounded and being in peace is when you love yourself, right?
Right.
When you're loving yourself inside is when you feel so much peace to give love to everyone else, and that brings yourself to embrace everything around you and keeping it simple and understanding how happy you can be in that whole ball, that Grinch, that whole big heart that you have, which is love,
Yeah.
And it's just such a beautiful, beautiful emotion. When you love yourself, you hold that power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can understand it. It becomes unconditional after that.
Yeah. It reminds me of you don't fill up your own cup first. And I believe as mothers, we tend to forget that. I'm a mother of 2, you're a mother of 4, right? And it's just like, go, go, go. If you don't fill up your cup first, though, you don't have the overflow. And it's exhausting, right? To show even loving kindness to anybody, and including your kids and especially yourself, right?
Yeah, and if that cup isn't full, guess what? You're looking for someone else to fill it.
Ooh, nice understatement. I love that one. Yeah.
It's if you don't have that cup full for yourself, you want that cup full. So you look for everyone else to fill it. And when they don't, that's where it becomes a big plethora of frustration, anger, sadness.
Yeah.
You just bring out every negative emotion about it because you're not happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Fill it.
And then and you mentioned unconditional love, and that always throws me into love isn't conditional. So what does that word even mean, right? Love isn't conditional. And yet we have this word, unconditional love. And it's like, huh? I love to play with that word.
Well, it goes back. It is. And it goes back to why the cup that you just said, right? If it's not full, you're not really giving it. You're looking for it. And you want it from someone else to give it to you. And if
you want it a certain way.
That's when it becomes, yeah. So that's a whole other book about the 5 love languages, right? Sorry?
Yeah. I said with lots of conditions too. When you're looking for it and you're expecting people to give it to you in a certain way, you're putting lots of conditions on the love. And that's kind of where we come up with the word unconditional love, right? So love without all these conditions set up. Right. Yeah.
And that comes once you fully love yourself. And that means loving yourself, not making yourself perfect.
Yes.
It's accepting you are perfect exactly with all your flaws and all your beauties, everything together. You're just amazing. And when you really love yourself and you're looking at, I'm great and I'm wonderful for who I am inside and I'm doing the best I can and this is wonderful, and you really love yourself, then you're not looking for anything, right?
Yeah. Well,
So
I just want to let you know I am perfectly imperfect. Just so you know.
I am right with you. I am right with you.
Yay. I love it. Simplicity. Let's go there. Keep it simple. You're perfectly imperfect. Done.
It is. It's very simple. It's just accepting who you are, and you can't blame people with today's social media and the magazine covers and the bodies should be a size 2. That's what's acceptable by other people too, right? Yeah. So it's difficult for you to love yourself maybe with all those extra roles, but you have to understand that's what people are doing for money or marketing, but who you are, and keep it simple.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love it. All right. So embrace your surroundings. So how do you see that one?
Well, it's kind of like, when you understand, it's exactly what I was just trying to say. In other words, when you look around and you see the beauty around you, try to see the beauty around you. And try to see what is out there. I mean, especially right now with COVID, and we see the quarantine and we're just seeing all these numbers, and it is a horrific thing. But let's pull ourselves back, and I'm going to bring ground yourself, because when you ground yourself down and there's so much beauty out there, what you do have and what you can contribute, like, for example, staying home, that's a huge contribution, and you embrace everything and you feel at peace and you feel, hey, I'm doing my part. And of course, that's loving yourself and loving the people around you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That takes me to, there was a, a church shooting, and somebody put out this big, long list after it happened, someone involved in all of it, experiencing it. And it was all the positives of what had, transpired. And like the list of negatives ended up being so tiny in comparison to all the positive things, and even some of the timings of like what could have actually happened. It was such a beautiful email to read. It was very empowering. Yeah. So
I can imagine.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
Huge, because of a lot of loss.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And whys, and that's really nice to hear.
Yeah, it was very cool. And part of it was a police officer had come home really tired and laid down on the couch, and his dog kept going to the window and just creating this ruckus. He thought somebody was just like outside the window, and kept getting up, and the dog was annoying him like crazy. And then he got the hit to go across the street, and so he came on the scene like at just the right time. Saved so many people. It was amazing. Yay, puppy dogs, right?
That's always how the universe is. There's always a purpose and reason. That's why you have to have faith.
We're all connected. We pick up on that energy, right? And and listening to the animals is a huge part of that. They got it. Yeah, I love it.
That's so true. That's so true.
Okay, so ground yourself. So what are some techniques that you use to ground yourself? I know I have this toilet meditation. People are like, what? In the morning, you can sit on the toilet and just like think of your feet as roots going down into the earth, right? And you do some mindfulness, because like, for sure you're going to sit down on that toilet every day. So I just take a moment to get grounded. How about you?
No, it's, what, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because people have this tendency of, well, for me to ground myself, the environment has to be just right. I have to be sitting, I need a room for this, or I need to find a corner that's perfect, and everything has to be gone away, or I need to have a candle or a crystal, or the salt lamp, whatever it may be. And I always say, no, you can just get up when you get up in the morning, just sit up or just lie there and just ground yourself. Like, take that 5 minutes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't do it anywhere. You can do it even when you're driving, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Don't close your eyes up, of course.
Well, the new cars, maybe. Especially the ones that are going to fly.
But breathe.
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
big, huge, deep breaths can do wonders.
Yep. Yep.
Wonders, you
And
know.
you can ground yourself at night before going to bed too, because it's kind of like, what energy are you going to bed with that's not even your own, right? And Therese Skelly always says, return to sender. And I'm like, oh, I like that, right? So yeah, doing a little detox before bed is very cool. And even some rhythmic movement training, which is, or exercises, which is what infants do in their first year of life to connect their brain and stuff. I sleep so much better if I lay on my side and do some rocking, and then lay on my other side, do some rocking. And another one is just lay on my tummy, you know, like this, no pillow, and then take my hips and just, you know, wiggle, yeah, rock them back and forth. And my feet will actually come in pigeon-toed. And if they're not pigeon-toed, then there's actually something like off in one's body when your feet aren't, if you just lay down on your tummy and they don't automatically go pigeon-toed. So I find that super interesting, like especially if your kidneys or liver's a little bit toxic. So yeah, that has been super. That one especially, if I'm having trouble sleeping, I'll just go, I get on my tummy right now and do some butt rocking. And you can do it to your kids too. Just take their belt loop and go back and forth with their hips. It's pretty cool.
And that would be nice if someone rocked me to sleep.
Right? It's like going and getting your hair done, right? It's like, oh yeah, just shampoo me, just touch me.
It's true. It's all about, you know, it's another form of self-love and self-care, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's very interesting. No, I'm very big about grounding yourself. And then you're right, especially before going to bed. Like I always keep lavender, like a packet of lavender, and I always take a couple of deep breaths of it before I go to bed, because, you know, it's such a calming stimulant. I mean, well, it's not a stimulant, but calming and relaxing. I know. And you just kind of like ground yourself, and then I kind of like sit there, and in my mind I close my eyes and I'm like, I take all my day's worries and I just push it out.
Nice.
And then I feel myself in that lavender, and I smell it, and I feel myself with that sunlight, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm in peace, and then I get into bed. Well, you know.
Wow,
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Bindu. It's always great to chat with you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Linda. This is great.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.